Cancer, what is up, y'all? How you doing? It's time to check in and see what's going on with you guys for the last week of June. Weekly check-in, last week of June, man. Entering into Cancer season, which, by the way, happy early birthday to my Cancer family. So, for those of you who need a personal reading, you can find all the information you need on how to go about doing that, all the different readings that I offer, and all that good stuff right down here in the description of this video. Okay, let's just hop into this. Let's just get a short, sweet, quick, general energetic overview of your situation. And I want to try to see if I can center this around the person you're dealing with. I'm going to pull a whole spread on their energy and their intentions next, but I want to see if it'll let anything come out. All right, what can we tell Cancer universe about their situation and the person they're dealing with? What's going on with Cancer situation? Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. Hang on. Let's get 3 shuffles real quick. 1, 2, and 3. Ten of Swords reversed. All right. Well, okay, this is interesting. All right. Well, I mean, this person does keep a very close eye on you. Okay. Every chance they get, any way they can, they do make it a very strong point to try to check in and see what's going on with you, see what you got going on in your life. Now, they had been trying to see if they could get your attention. But that didn't work for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if you were blatantly ignoring their indirect attempts to try to get a response from you, or maybe you just got better shit to focus on and it didn't even hit your radar. But they're not really doing that anymore because they didn't get the response out of you that they were looking for. So I think they're trying to heal from this, honestly. I think so. 10 of Swords reversed at the end of the day, or at least they want you to think that they've healed from this. And the reason why I say that is because of the Page of Swords reversed and the 6 of Cups. That would indicate to me that, like I said, they keep a very close eye on you. Why do they keep a close eye on you? Because they love you and they miss you. So why else would they be trying to get your attention? Because they want you to think that they've healed from this. Could be a Virgo for some of you. Also have Sagittarius here. Yeah, okay. All right. All right, well, okay. That's about all I can get out of that right there. Let's see what their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions are. What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Temperance again. Patiently waiting. For what? Patiently waiting for what? King of Wands reversed. Tower reversed. Okay. So I don't even really think they fully know exactly what it is that they're waiting on. Not fully. But they're patiently waiting on a reconciliation attempt. I don't really think it's very articulately thought out, though. So I don't think I would go as far as to say that they have this elaborate plan. They're going to try to sabotage what you got going on in your life so that they can slide in there. Going to spread this rumor about you. You know, they're going to get this. I don't think it's not quite that articulately thought out. For some reason, this person seems fairly convinced that the two of you are going to reconcile. Fairly convinced. Now, why do they seem so certain? Have y'all done this before? Have y'all done this before? Some of y'all been on and off with this person. World card tower reversed has on and off written all over it. It's screaming on and off. Now, I know that's not all of you, but I mean, you got to admit, if you go on and off with somebody 2 or 3 times, eventually you're going to get to the point where you start expecting it, you know? Or maybe this person just has the biggest fucking head. They're just an ego-driven, narcissistic piece of shit that just thinks, oh, of course you're going to come running back to me. Of course you're going to come running back to me. You know? I don't know. But they seem fairly convinced. Fairly convinced. But as far as their deepest feelings and intentions, I just don't think they're thinking that deep into it. It's kind of like, so I hate to sound cliche, but you know how they say that the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, you know? So it's kind of like that. Even if you have, well, whether you have or you haven't been on and off with this person, in their mind, they can just keep doing the same thing they've been doing, and one day it's going to work out differently. If you would just do things my way, it would work. If you would just listen to me, if you would stop doing this, if you would start doing that, you're the one that's always doing this. You're the one that won't stop doing this. I'm the one that did all of this. You know, that type of energy. I'm going to keep doing the same thing because I didn't do anything wrong. So I can do the same thing. You're the one that needs to change and do something different. That's what'll make it work. I think that's about as far as this person is thinking into it, you know. Let's see what signs I have on the table here. I have Taurus, Sagittarius, and Pisces. All right, you know it could be anybody. Those are just energies. All right, well, I guess let's just grab the advice on this because it doesn't look like much is happening. I see a lot of waiting. What's the advice? Advice for Cancer. 3 shovels. 1, 2, and 3. Ooh, 3 of Cups. Page of Wands reversed. Okay. Ooh, okay. Okay, so how about this? This person needs to be taught a lesson. They need to be taught a lesson. Okay? Now, usually people like this don't really learn lessons. You know, they're usually kind of stupid. They just go through life with a trail of destruction behind them, running from it and just creating more as they go, you know? But they need to be taught a lesson. And believe it or not, this lesson could play a much, much bigger role in their life than you would think. They don't have emotional control over you. For some reason, this person thinks they have emotional control over you. For some reason. Again, I don't know why. I don't know if you all have been on and off and you've allowed them to manipulate you a lot. Or again, maybe they just think they all about goddamn something. But for some reason, they are very convinced that they have emotional control over you. And all I got to do is be patient and wait. They need to know. No. You do not have fucking emotional control over me. Even if it hurts, I'm going to do the decision. I'm going to make the decision that needs to be made, regardless of how it feels. Once they realize that you are stronger than they are, one of two things will happen. Either A, well, let's talk about the most likely scenario. They'll probably tuck their tail and run and go do everything they can to try to sabotage you on the way out and just try to run from it and forget about it. Or, hey, hopefully it does give this person a wake-up call. Pow! Universe slapped the shit out of them. Pow! You ain't as cool as you fucking thought you was. It don't roll like that. You're not going to make your way through life or through love successfully. Manipulating and playing games and, you know, using people's feelings against them and guilt tripping people. You ain't going to make your way through life like that. And you definitely ain't going to make your way through love like that. So, oh damn, man. Maybe I need to try something different. Maybe I need to let my guard down and actually make some genuine changes. They need to be taught a lesson. Now, again, that doesn't mean, actually, you know what? Because I know that sounds kind of vengeful, right? It sounds like you need to do something bad to them. Or something bad needs to happen to them. No. You know what the best revenge is? And I mean the best revenge. I don't care who you are. I don't care what kind of situation you're dealing with. Don't care if it's a love situation, friend, family, business partner. You know what the best fucking revenge is? Healing and doing better. Healing and doing better. A toxic fucking person does not want to see you heal, and especially they don't want to see you do better. Absolutely not. You know why? Well, fuck. We could be sitting here talking all night about the different reasons as to why, but retroactively, the reason they don't want you to do better is because that exposes them. So when you have a relationship with problems, there's going to be a big finger pointing match going, you know? If you take person A into a room by themselves, most likely they're going to say that it's all person B's fault. If you take person B into a room all by themselves, most likely they're going to say it's all person A's fault, right? Most of the time, 90% of the time. How do you see the truth? What exposes the truth more than anything in the world? What happens after y'all break up, right? That's where you're really going to get a really good idea behind who the toxic one was. Person A, person B, or maybe even both. Wait till they break up and step back and watch them. The toxic one is going to just keep looping around and repeating the same old cycle. They just going to be doing the same old shit they was doing with you. And after a while, now they're one of those people who every single person that they've ever been with is toxic and abusive. You ever met that person? Every single ex was toxic and abusive. Every one of them. Every one of them. Every one of them. Every one of them. You mean to tell me that every single relationship you have ever been in, you were abused. You were done wrong. They were the toxic one. They were the crazy one. Every time, you were the poor, sweet, defenseless, innocent little victim. Every single fucking time. Every time. After a while, people are going to start looking at you like, okay, now let's see what happened with the other person. The non-toxic one, or at least the one who had the best intentions, was really genuinely putting their all into it. They're more than likely going to go through a period of grieving and healing, but eventually they're going to rise up and they're going to do better. You're going to see them transform into a different person. You're going to see them improve their life. And that's when everybody will be able to tell who the toxic one really was. That's why, among many other reasons, they don't want to see you do better. So, yeah. All right, we're going to shift gears now. Let's see what's coming in new for the singles. Who's the next person due to come in for Cancer? Last week of June. Next person coming in for Cancer for the last week of June. Next person coming in for the last week of June. 2 more shuffles. Ooh, Queen of Wands, Knight of Swords. Okay, so there's communication coming in. Communication coming in. Lover's card reversed. Queen of Swords upright. So you may not feel like the strongest connection in the world right off the bat. I don't know. I think you're going to feel, how am I going to say this? You feel a really strong sense of what I like to call soul recognition, but you don't really feel a really strong emotional connection in the beginning. So what that means is you may be overwhelmed by the feeling that you've known this person your whole life. But I'm not necessarily saying you're going to be flooded with emotions over it, if that makes sense. Really strong energetic connection. The emotional connection, on the other hand, is kind of slow. Because I do think you and this person do have some karma from a previous lifetime. I think so. I mean, honestly, it's kind of looking to me like they're coming in strong. And you're kind of like, let me see what this is all about. Let's take this slow. I don't think this is turning into happily ever after overnight. Basically, you're trying to figure out whether or not you're intuitively picking up on something that's weird about this person. Or if y'all just aren't an energetic match, you're taking this slow. Really, really slow. Okay, well. Okay, whatever. Let's get the advice then. Got most of the information there in that one spread. So let's grab the advice. What's the advice for Cancer? There we go. Five of Cups. Okay, well, there actually is a lot of potential here for this situation. There is, but you know what? I think that's the best way that you can handle it. That is the best way you can handle it. If something feels off, keep them at an arm's distance. You know how I'll always tell you, don't be afraid to walk away from something that doesn't feel right. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that as soon as something feels funny, pew, take off running. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, I guess if you want to, but there's so many different reasons why when I very first connect with somebody, the energy could feel off. So many different reasons. What if I'm just off today? Didn't sleep good last night. Woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Been one of them days where as soon as I stepped out of bed, I stubbed my toe and then I spilled coffee on my shorts. And then there was a traffic jam and some idiot cut me off. And then my boss was an asshole. And then it's just been a bad day. Maybe it's me. Or maybe it's you. Maybe you're just having a bad day. I don't know why. I don't know why this energy feels funny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep you at an arm's distance and I'm going to pay close attention. Not just going to run away immediately. I'm going to see if this energy wants to work itself out. Maybe with time, whatever energy is going on my end or your end will kind of wash away and we can come in together. But if it don't, if that energy keeps getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier, that's when you might want to say, okay, this is some shit I don't need in my life. Yeah. I think you're handling this just fine. Nothing wrong with that. But I would say, though, that you be very, very careful with your focus, okay? Now, this is tricky, but there's a difference between being open to acknowledge red flags and looking for red flags. Big difference. And sometimes it can be hard to find that balance if you're constantly looking for something wrong. You know, putting them through little tests. You know, saying one thing one day and rewording it the next day and see if they say something different. Testing them, looking, trying to create a red flag is what you're eventually going to end up doing. And, hey, if you're in that energy where you're looking for, basically you're asking the universe for a red flag. And you're eventually going to get one. You know, now we're digging into timelines and, you know, multifaceted, multi-dimensional timelines and the quantum field. I'm not getting all into that. I'm just saying, don't obsessively, desperately look for red flags or you will fucking find one. Remain neutral. Okay? All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my Cancerian family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is all down here in the description, okay? I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.